But first, said Edgy, I two more questions about you and your background. Uh, do you suppose your DNA had any Russian in it? And another thing, did the name Yasmini come down in your family? And to which uh, Omar said yes to both. There is Russian uh, on my mother's side, uh, and and I've got so many cousins and Yasmini. It's just a standard name, one way or another. It's worked in there because it has to do with her being the great dancer that she was. Okay, now you said this is Omar speaking. You said about this must not have been easy to pull this off, and the answer to that, Edgy, is no. It wasn't, and it isn't, because it's not pulled off yet. You people that come here tonight, you are not paying customers. I don't know if you realize that or not, but you are guests. This is a party. This is a kegger. I'm allowed to have a party, but it's not yet certain that this can be a commercial enterprise. So we're still working on it, and it's been a hassle. Now, Indira and I don't mind that much. we we don't. We're not rich, but we own the place. We don't have a mortgage on it, and we don't have children. This is our child in a way, and so if we lose money here, that's fine. It doesn't matter. We're not in this for money. So really, your guess, if as they all are, if people feel like giving us some money, they can do that, but they don't need to. That's one of the things about Bubba and his buddies. They thought, aha, we'll just take advantage of that. They never gave us anything. They were just working us over. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's been hard, and it still is hard. And the worst of it, or the most remarkable of it, I'll share with you. It was at a meeting that it was at the county level. It was a public meeting, and they were going to discuss my idea of what I wanted to do with this farm and the various regulations that were going to have to be passed, and like sewage and basically stuff like that. As it is, there's a manure pit out there which was from the time of the dairy herd, and we can use it because you guys are just guests. But I want to do I want to have a dry. How do you call it? What is the word for it? Dry toilets. I don't. I want to do things differently, and I'm determined to try my best. So anyway, there was a meeting about this, and they had a guest speaker who was just. It was such a bizarre experience. This guest speaker was arranged by, I don't know who, some of the most conservative, I guess you'd call them conservative people imaginable. But anyway, he was there, and when he was introduced, to the meeting, I couldn't really catch his name. It just sounded to me like status quo. That's all I could make out of what this name was. And he started to speak. Now, he was a renowned real estate guy, I guess, and he was such a conservative. And But what was so bizarre about it was that he said the same thing over and over and over again. He had almost nothing to say. His only message was, this isn't the way we do things. It's not standard. It's never been done before, not in the history of ever. That's what his message was. But that was the entire thing. However, he kept saying it over and changing a little bit and over, and sometimes not even changing it. He just kept repeating himself and repeating himself. I'd never heard anything quite like it. And he was such an odd looking guy, too. He had a big nose, a long kind of a nose, and he had a speaking manner that, well, he was almost aquatic or marine because he used his hands all the time, but he used them symmetrically, like as if someone learned to swim and the only thing they could do was the breaststroke or something. You know, he was using his hands the whole time. Uh, you know, I, I, I made a study of it, just watching this guy as he would keep repeating himself. And he had a funny thing with his mouth where he, when I was a kid, we used to make a funny face where I'm not going to do it here because I was telling a story, but where we uh, pinch our mouth together and make our lips go almost like a fish. Uh, well, without even pinching it together, he did that, and oh, it was so bizarre. But anyway, he was the arranged speaker, and when he was finally through, or when he finally stopped, you know, everybody clapped. I clapped too, because I was really glad that he finally stopped. The thing is, he clapped. He clapped like for himself. I say aquatic. It just reminded me of a trained seal or something that had learned to make his flippers go together. When people were clapping for his absurd performance, he was all happy. He didn't smile. I don't think he can smile. He's just kind of smirked, but he was clapping too because he thought that was really good. So it was bizarre. So you can see as I've been through a bunch to accomplish this, and it continues to go on.